Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. What a good portion this was. Yeah. Does anyone have something you want to add to what I said?
Well, before I forget, it's such a wonderful portion. It's like, um, when you make a perfume, you have to distill everything and get down to the essence. And to me, like many portions, but this really speaks loudly. It's like the essence of God and his relationship with us. It's been distilled down to its essence. No tons of this and tons of commentary and maybe this, maybe that. And it's God's essence and our relationship with him. Um, it was such a beautiful message when it says, uh, when we walk with him and have a relationship with him and keep his commandments, he shows us favor. And I've always kind of struggled with that. Like, what does that mean? God shows a lot of people favor. So it's somehow bigger. It doesn't mean, God reigns on the evil and the good alike, but still there is something different. To acknowledge that, it doesn't mean we don't go through hard times, but it helps us to get out of these hard times. Like, I mean, with the thing that I've been going through, like in the past, well, the debacle, I call it, the terrible time I went through, God didn't take that away. I had to learn stuff from that, but he showed me a way out and a light, and he was protecting me. And I had to constantly cry out to him and choose him. That's where our will comes in. We can't always do things by our will alone, but we can choose. We make choices to follow the good road, the road of God. And once we're on that road, that's our choice. But when we're on that road, God more and more shows us things. I mean, there are things we cannot do. There's certain things that we struggle with that really only God can change. They're just too deeply stuck inside us or whatever. So it is a partnership, but it's really, anyway, the message was beautiful also. It's very honed everything down to its essence.
Thank you.
And beautiful. Thank you.
We tend to, as parents, God didn't make it easy for us. We had to work and work hard. And sometimes we as parents make things too easy for our children. We pamper them, we spoil them, we're almost afraid to say no to them, we're afraid to tell them the way things are, we're afraid to discipline them. I'm very guilty of that. And because of that, my kids now have had to learn things that they should have learned when they were very young. My parents were tough on us. They didn't make things easy for us. And it built strength in me. We have a generation today of wusses. You know what a wuss is? A wuss is like a baby, like somebody, a crybaby, like weak, namby-pambies. They have no strength. They have no backbone. And that does not help. And God knows that we need that, which is why he allowed us to go through and to see all these plagues. And our people today, we are going to need to see some plagues in order to turn back to God. I'm watching miracles happen. As difficult it is, it's horrendous what's happening in Israel right now. And I feel terrible for the people there. But in many ways, it's the only way that we cry out to God. And isn't it sad? That's the truth. Yes, Mauricio, I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, thank you for the message, Peggy. It was such a beautiful message. And also I was thinking honestly on the verse on the first word, bow, which mean go. And honestly, I was thinking about that. I don't know if Moshe has been like dealing within himself about going to a person who already reject him. Okay,
I'm sure it's not easy.
because that is not really easy. Okay, I don't know if you have sometimes you have tried to sell something that people doesn't want, and you will go one, and they say, oh no, thank you. Then you go again, oh, this is good for you, and they say no, no, no. uh and more important is the person who is rejecting him. He was a king, he was a leader, he was a very powerful person. And I probably he knew Moshe as a cousin, and it's very hard to go. And in this word, go, Moshe, it's implying that probably Moshe was, oh, should I go? Is my voice is something that really God wants that I do? I don't know.
Actually,
So
Mauricio, the word bo means come.
yeah,
He's telling, come back, go to Israel, come back to Egypt and deal
yeah.
with, yeah, it's even stronger.
So
Yeah.
it was like preparing Moshe to 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 make him stronger.
Yes.
Okay. And sometimes we need in our lives that kind of situations that are not really easy for us, because that make us grow.
Right.
Okay. Um, and and it's not only to be obedient, is beyond of that. Is like, um, he was not only fighting against the rejection of Paro, but he was like, every time that Paro was rejecting him, obviously Paro was growing in his proud. Okay. Oh, I expulse these guys from here. And Moshe was like, receiving more humbleness, because he said, oh, I'm low, I'm low, you know, um, without God, I'm nothing. Okay. So it's like, the balance. And sometimes, as I mentioned, God put us in situations that probably he says bow. Okay. And we say, oh no, God, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to push that person too much. And more important is about what you said at the end. Okay. um People is trying to live in a society that they want everything very easy. Okay, just take, deliver, and go. And okay, there is no sacrifices, there is no, um eh, like self, how do you say that?
It doesn't build your self-worth, your value, if you have to,
Yeah,
if everything is given to you too easily.
yeah.
Yeah.
And God is like, okay, you want the dream, okay, go for that. And sometimes we say, oh no, God, yes, I want the $1,000 for example. And God says, okay, go, okay, go. And that is very important. Oh God, I want to that you use me. Okay, go. Okay. If you stay at home, what are you trying to what do you expect that happened? Okay. So it's like movement. It's like, okay, and this is something that happened during this week on my company, because I when you go to a younger generation, okay, uh, these guys are like, I don't know how to say that, but that doesn't sound bad, but it's like, always they are saying, oh, that won't happen, that is not possible, that is that is something easy to avoid discipline, to avoid effort from you. Okay, so and I had to sit everybody and start to speak everyone. Hey, we are here to that things happens, that when there is nothing, something comes and happen, come to exist. Okay, and this is the kind of spirit that God wants that we spread around the world. Okay, we want a better world. Okay, we want peace. Okay, so let's work for that. Okay, and so and they are saying, oh, that it was something that there is a shipment, and with the shipments we need to send the documents in order to get paid. Okay, and they are saying, no, it's not possible to get the documents today, on Tuesday. And I said, no, today, Friday. Okay, today, Friday, we need to do that. So come here, let's see. In 2 hours we did it. Okay,
So easy to give up.
yeah, it's so easy to give up. And when they said, and I said these words, okay, God put us here, that when there is nothing, God wants that we do something in order that that the things that doesn't exist come to be. Okay, and that's the spirit that God put us inside of us. And they said, okay, yes, you're right, we thought we couldn't do that. Okay, and in this case, Israel was asking to God, oh God, please stop uh, the punishment, the our suffering, and everything that is happening bad to us. Okay, we want to be free. Okay, so you have to work to be free. Okay, and that is some of the part that the people doesn't want. Okay, because there is a kind of a spirit, I would say, that is contaminating everyone about, oh, the life is so easy, and that is not, is going to happen nothing good. Okay, even though for peace, sometimes we need to destroy the evil, like Israel right now.
Right.
Okay, so so that is something that, yes, God is showing the signals. He's spreading the signals to say, I am the Lord. And every one of the signal was against one God of Egypt. Okay.
Right.
So I am the Lord. And this cow that you think that the cow is a God, that the river is a God, the paddle is a God. So I am showing I am beyond them. Okay. But at the same time, we need to do our part. Okay.
Well, that's the interesting thing also about the word bo, because it can mean go, but as I said, it means come. So it's like when I say to my child, or I'll say to Miriam, come, let's go. It's like come has the understanding of come with me. Like God is saying, come with me, we're going to Pharaoh. He wasn't sending them alone. He was
Yes.
always going to be with us. And these signs, it's amazing about signs, because I have always followed signs. I remember even when I was a kid, I was we had a ball in the house. It was like a magic ball. It was black and it had a little opening which says yes, no, or maybe. And if I had to make a decision, I didn't always know how to make decisions, didn't know what the right thing to do was. So I would shake the ball and see, and ask the ball a question and see what came out. If it was yes, and I didn't like the answer, I would shake it again.
Mhm.
But
That's like the I Ching, you remember that?
There were all these things in the New Age ways, and I was
Like, he loves me, not love me.
Yeah.
like the daisy. He loves me, loves me not. You know
Right.
how many times I did that? It's true. Exactly. We're looking for signs. And the only thing that we can base true signs are on what God gave us. And look how many signs he gave us. Right at the first sign he gave us was a sign of the Shabbat, right in the beginning of Genesis. Then in Noah, he gives the sign of the rainbow, that he would never destroy the world again. And here we have the signs at Pesach, all these signs, and all of them prove that God is real. He's here, he's with us. Don't be afraid. But us, how long does it take us? Like a dog returns to its vomit, we keep doing the same things over and over again. And what should have taken us 11 days took us 40 years. Right, Brian?
Right.
Right.
The ball had a thing floating in it. The window
Yes.
was floating the thing. That 8 ball. You asked the question and this thing would float in the thing there, and that was your answer.
Exactly. As if we could trust that. How silly is that? I remember when I was living in Vancouver and was fully involved in the New Age then, and I wanted to go home. No, I told Tammy that we needed to leave, but I didn't know where to go. Honestly, I had no idea. So I took a walk through Stanley Park, and I was always talking to something out there. I never knew I was talking to God. And suddenly I see in the middle of the forest, in the middle of Stanley Park, a tractor out of nowhere driving through, and it had a Quebec license plate on it. Quebec. So I come back to back home, and I tell Tammy, my younger daughter, okay, Tammy, let's take the map. I had a book of maps. Let's just open the book and see where it lands. Again, it landed on Quebec. That's why we ended up coming back to Montreal, because I followed signs. I didn't know how to ask for advice. I wasn't normal in those days. God wants us to be normal, to ask for his advice, to seek counselors, to be wise, to learn wisdom, not to grabbing out from here and there and choose anything as a sign.
Yeah, the problem is that superstition is going again with the signs, because
Exactly.
people do not understand really what a sign means. Okay, the sign is an expression of love of God.
Wow,
Okay,
beautiful.
because he's showing, oh, if you go to Egypt, okay, he's showing, I am the Lord, I am Elohim, I am judging all these gods of Egypt that destroy your life, destroy your mentality. So I am judging them and I destroying them. So that is a part. But then we read that is a sign to us, for example, to paint the blood
On the doorpost.
on the doorpost. Yeah. So that's a sign. Okay. It's not hocus pocus. It's just to remember, oh, why is putting this. Okay. Because it's nothing about the Jesus Christ or something like that. No, it's about, okay, that God is telling them, kill the God. Okay. Kill that God and put his holy blood on your doorpost. Okay. And so mentality, psychology is the God is treating their mind. Okay. And probably we don't understand right now, because for us, oh, it just a cow. But go, for example, to India and try to say, okay, go and kill that cow and put the blood on the doorpost. What happened there?
It
Okay,
would kill you.
yeah, they will kill you. Okay, so probably yes, to us is not so, but that is a sign. Okay, and then also there is another expression, that we need to remember his love to us. Okay, the first commandment after God free us in Egypt was the establishment of the Moedim, of the time of celebration, because he says, okay, today we will celebrate the festivity of unleavened bread. Okay, so so God is said, because this is something very very deep, really, because when you are a slave, you are not, the time is not yours.
Right.
Your time belongs to another person. Okay, now what you do when you are free, because if I am a slave, what should I do now that I am free? And that is happening to many people who is getting out from jail. Okay, they are in jail many times, 20 years, 30 years, and today they say, okay, go outside the jail. In what happened to all these people? They don't know what to do with his free time, with his, because they recover his liberty, but the point is, what should I do? And God had an answer. Okay, let's celebrate something to gratitude, to give thanks to God. Okay, and so he give us the gift of the time. Okay, today we can choose what to do with our free time. Okay, so how do we use that free time? And the problem is that people is losing time looking for TikToks and videos, and I don't know, streaming. There are many things, playing useless video games and things like that. Okay, because right now they are trying to to burn your time. Okay, they
Waste your
want
time.
you,
Exactly.
yeah, to waste your time,
Yeah,
and for that reason, that is a kind of slavery today.
exactly. I know someone who is so addicted to work and worked all the time, morning, noon, and night, that when he retired, he didn't know what to do. He went into such high anxiety, he became sick because he didn't know how to do anything else. He had no other value outside work. He was like a slave to work.
Yeah, and so that is what is important, the Shabbat.
Right.
Okay, because it's teaching us how to handle the time. Okay, how to spend time also to us, to to our Creator. Okay, and to live in community. Um, and also the other point is that I have seen that is that people is looking for signals to to take decisions,
Right.
and you know, and honestly, for me is better to know the Torah. Okay, because there is the answer to any doubt or any question that we may have in our lives. What should I do? Okay, with this or with that? Okay, because uh, it's like, okay, it's like when people, I will put an example. Okay, um, should I kill this man or should I not kill this man? Okay, hey, come on, that what does it what is it written in the Torah? The Torah says not kill people. Okay, that's it. So no matter who is that person. Okay, so um, should I don't know.
Well, those are obvious,
Yeah,
but there's some more subtle
yeah.
ones, some are more difficult. And
Yeah, but also there are answers for that in the Torah.
Right.
Okay, because the problem is people is expecting to have a you know, God sometimes put for example, in the midrash, in the midrashims, they do not exalt the what this Gideon did. Gideon said, "Okay, God, I will go to the war if you put this signal and that signal." Eh, because what? Yes, there was something that God shows, uh, something really unexpected to him. Okay, but at the end, sometimes we need to live by the commandments and by the principles of the Torah in order to act, because there are many people that do not act in order that, oh, that is not the sign. So in, and I understand that, honestly, what you are saying, because I have seen many people living by that, and only what happens to them is anxiety. Okay, it's and you know, I never, I didn't know that, but I was hearing a person who is my wife boss, that she said, I was through the anxiety, and I didn't know that this anxiety um, could produce sickness in your body.
Right.
And she said, you know, I was very sick and nobody could find out, because when they take the blood test and everything was good, but she presented some physiological problems. Okay, at the end, the answer was, oh, the problem is your mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
people don't like to hear that. But you know what? That's one of the things that I learned, that 85%, even 90% of the physical things that we have are psychosomatic. Psychosomatic means the mind and the body, they're connected. So when you're so anxious, it's going to come out in the body. This is, of course, it'll be different with different people depending on their genetic makeup. But definitely that's a high element. I've seen that over and over in my life.
Yes, in what happened when you live by science, then when there is no answer, because it becomes like a drug, okay, to many
Well, this
people.
is what happened with Hitler, believe it or not, which worked, thank God, good for us, because he was so busy with the horoscopes and with his magicians, the people around him who were very involved in the magic arts, in the occult. And the British found out that that's what he did, that he judged a lot by the horoscopes, by the astrology, that they sent the wrong signs as to when they were going to attack. And he one of the major reasons that he lost the war.
Yeah, and that is something that happens to different leaders also. They 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 are taking the responsibility of many people just by signals.
Right.
That
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah. And so we have to recognize, because God does give us signs. It's a little bit like when Miriam and I go for a walk. If we go to a new place, what I try to do is look at things that are signposts to me that I will recognize along the way. So when I come back, I reckon, oh, yes, we were here before because I remember seeing this building, or I remember seeing that. And God does that with us. He gives us signposts along the way, guiding us, leading us in the right direction. So it's beautiful, but some decisions are much more difficult to make. But once we make a decision, we say we're going to do something, this is where we have to follow what Yeshua said. Because I'm very impulsive, and sometimes I get excited about something and I say I'm going to do it. But then later on, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it anymore. And Rabbi would always say to me, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Once you say something, you have to keep your word. That's very important to God, that we keep our word. It's a principle that we need to learn to live by. And that's something that I've had to learn to live by. Otherwise, people don't trust you. That's how we've learned to trust God, because he always keeps his word. When he promises to do something, it's a done deal. So that's why we don't need to be afraid once he's made a promise. But when our fear comes up and we don't trust him, that's when we get into trouble. So all these signs are given to us to learn how to trust God. And that's a very powerful lesson for all of us today, coming from Bo, to know that God goes, he comes with us wherever we are, whatever we have to do. And if we say we're going to do something, do it. Check the signs. There are many signs of the time. Like right now, I'm watching how now the leaders are sending from North Korea. They're sending ammunition to fight against Israel. It's coming from, South Africa has taken Israel to the World Court. Russia is starting to send more. They're supporting Iran. All these nations that it talks about in the last battle of Armageddon, or Armageddon, it looks like we're at that time. But is it? I don't know. There are some signs, but again, we know that there are birth pains, that it's going to get stronger and stronger. We may still have enough righteous people, enough people who are able to turn things around, and that we can be saved in this generation from this last horrendous war that we're going to have to go through. But we have to look at the signs of the times and try to judge. And how should we live during these signs? As Yeshua said, be a light. Do not, don't let your light be covered by, don't put your lamp under under a barrel or whatever it is, but let your light so shine so that people will see you, see what you do. And don't do it just to show off. Do it, let it come from the heart. And the more we walk with God, the more these things will come from our heart. So let's
and also something just to finish my points.
Yes.
Is that it's interesting that I've heard that the road of Moshe had powers. Okay, I have heard from people. Okay,
Right.
but it's interesting that when you read the Torah, not all these signs were made by the road of Moses.
It was Aaron.
It was the first three were Aaron's. Okay.
Yes.
Then also Moshe speak. Okay, not use the rod. Okay, and also in another signals, both Moshe and Aaron were quiet, and God just did something. Okay, because he wanted to do something. At the end, it's not a man, it's not a road, it's not about nothing of that. Is God's power. Okay. Okay, that is what is really important. Okay, and because I'm also, again, people is like, for example, we 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 we, we use kippah, and people say, oh, I will not go out from house without any kippah because something bad could happen to me. Okay, yeah, it's good to use the kippah, but sometimes you will not be able to use, okay, to wear it. It's not safe for you, or you are in a shipment, so you need to put uh, you say in Spanish casco, helmet,
Helmet. Yeah.
and not use a kippah. Okay, so nothing will happen to you. It's not about the object, it's about God is protecting you. Okay, and so that is very important, because are not the objects, and sometimes people is especially today, people is wearing, for example, I bought this chain or this magical
Bracelet.
bracelets with magical rocks and things like that. I don't know, or this number, or no. Don't put your trust on those things. Put your trust in the one who can give you life, who is God. Okay, so
Exactly.
that's
Exactly. And that's, I mean, we have to speak out, we have to do the right things, but the ultimate thing is to trust in God. And I am just beginning to hear that now. You know, even in Israel, how people who were secular, so secular before, now they saw how God worked in their lives, and now they're coming to trust in the God of their fathers, and they're thanking the Borei Olam. Now it's one thing to thank him but it's another thing to live by the principles of the Torah, because it's so easy to fall back and to, you know, fall. He's not magic. It's not about magic. It's about the reality that of his existence, and that we can trust what he says, but we're a partner in that. It's a relationship. So we have to do what he says. We have to be obedient. We can't just always expect gifts from God. Oh, he's going to protect me because I believe this or believe that. No, it's our action. What are we doing? And that's so important. And don't expect free rides. God he didn't take us over the Yam Suf, the Red Sea, or the Sea of Reeds on a magic carpet. We have to push forward. We have to work hard. Life is not given to us on a silver platter. That will never make us strong. When you receive a gift from somebody, there has to be thanks and reciprocity. You give back in some way. It's not a free ride. And that's what we have to remember. So I guess thank you everyone for attending our Shabbat service again. Invite your friends, invite others to join us. I believe this community has something very strong, a very strong message that we don't hear very often today. And though we're small, we are mighty. Our God is with us. And so let's just keep walking with him each and every day. So I wish you all Shabbat Shalom. And God willing, I think next week we hear from you, Mauricio, for the message.
I'll be there. Like, oh, I remember that.
Yes. All right, Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, Shabbat shalom. Thank you for your message.
You're welcome, Miriam.
Thank
Take care. Have a good day. Keep us informed. If anyone needs prayer, let us know. Keep us informed, Miriam. Rhonda, what happens with your mom, okay?
Okay.
And
I'll get you. And if you do, I'll put
bye,
it on.
Moshe.
Bye.
Bye.
Shavuot everyone.
Not yet. It's still Shabbat.
Oh, yeah, right. Shabbat
Yeah,
shalom.
we have a whole
Mommy.
rest of the day. Okay.
Mommy,
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Shabbat
Moshe.
tov.
For you, it's Shavuot Tov.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.